Hello, algebra students. Directions say solve, and I see 2 times the quantity of x plus 9 is greater than 5x. So we learned that the rules for solving equations and inequalities are basically the same, with one little new thing that we've figured out about flipping signs. But besides that, I'm going to use the same basic principles. So I'll visually divide my left and my right hand side so I can see, and I will follow that lovely 3 wisdom process that I've been looking at for solving multi-step equations. Same thing with inequalities. So first, simplify left and right hand side if possible. It's just a couple of expressions here, and so if any of those expressions can simplify, I'm allowed to. And indeed, I do see some simplifying I can do there. I can pass out that 2 to the entire grouping. I can do that multiplication. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times positive 9 is positive or plus 18. Now, whenever you're simplifying, it's never going to affect the inequality symbol because you have the same amount. You just are writing about it in a simpler way. And nothing to simplify on the right-hand side. Now, sometimes there's more simplifying to do, but you can see here on my left-hand side, there's nothing left that I can do. The addition addition in algebra can only be done if we have like terms, and we don't. That's an x term and a plain old constant, a plain old number term. So they can't combine. So let's move on to that second wisdom principle, which is get the variable terms to the same side. Now, it doesn't always happen, but it sure did this time. That we have letters on both sides. And in this case, we have an x on the left-hand side, and we have an x on the right-hand side of the inequality symbol. Now, you might ask, which direction should I move it? It actually doesn't matter, but you're going to need to be careful with your negatives and careful with your inequality symbol no matter which way you go. So if you went the opposite direction that I'm going right now, that's fine, but we should end up in the same place at the end if you're neat with those symbols. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move my letter to the left right from the beginning because that's usually where we like our letters with inequalities. So I am going to take this 5x and subtract it from both sides. Now, again, if you moved the 2x, you're fine, and you might have wanted to because this is going to look a little weird for a second, but track with me. So 2x minus 5x is negative 3x, and you can do that in your calculator. I've done nothing to affect the plus 18, and that I've done nothing to change the inequality symbol. I didn't multiply or divide by a negative. And now what is 5x minus 5x? Well, it's 0. There's nothing left over there. And now I can start working to get that x alone. Now that I got the letters to the left-hand side, I can move the numbers the other direction. Now, when I solve, I go in the opposite order. Sorry, so that's my third step. I'm solving. I'm isolating the variable. But when I solve, I work GEMMA in the opposite order, the order of operations. So I'm going to move anything adding or subtracting first. I'll take the plus 18 by subtracting 18. And I get negative 3x is greater than, I still haven't done anything to affect the inequality symbol. I subtracted. I didn't multiply or divide by a negative. But now's the time we're going to see that flipping. So I want to get rid of this negative 3. It's shoved up against x. It's a multiplier, so I will divide. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. Multiplying and dividing by negative 3 are opposites. They'll cancel. I have an x. But now I made a change where I divided by a negative. So I will have affected my inequality. I just flipped the relationship between the two sides, and so I will flip my sign. And, I tried to screw stuff up, you guys. I always scold you for this. I was dividing both sides by a negative 3, not a positive 3. And negative 18 divided by negative 3 is positive 6. Woo, tricky, tricky. All right. You can see why I wanted to work that one with you. And again, if you did it the other way, that's fine, but you should also end up with x is less than 6. All right, you guys, happy learning.